New year, new outlet, the promise of a new day. Not only a principle we should celebrate, but also a Paula Abdul song from 1991. One with a music video that I always felt was oddly stretched. I used to really have a thing for Paula Abdul. When she would sing Forever Your Girl, I would pretend she was singing to me. That's a true story. Also a sad story. Let's take a look on the bright side. Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Bright Side. I'm your host, Bob Herzog. Sorry about all that Paula Abdul stuff. That was a little much. Sometimes I get sidetracked. Anyway, Happy New Year 2021. It's here. We made it. Way to go, you. Hey, we also made it to Facebook. This is our first episode that will be available on both YouTube and Facebook. It's all very exciting. If you've been with us since the very beginning, thank you so much for helping get this little pet project this far. And if you're new to the party, we are so glad you're here. The Bright Side is a happy place. It's all the things we say we want to see more of on the news. The happy stories, the inspirational stories, funny stuff, uplifting stuff. Here, you'll get the spoonful of sugar and no medicine at all. There are plenty of other places for that. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the Facebook page, come along for the ride. The ride that is 2021 began at the stroke of midnight, though things looked a little different pretty much anywhere you celebrated. Last night, only a couple hundred military members, first responders, and their families rang in the new year at Times Square. This is the first year since 1904 that crowds have not been allowed to gather in Times Square. Even during World War II, when the ball drop was canceled for 2 years, people still went there to hold a moment of silence. But this year, the ball still dropped, confetti still fell, and apparently Kia paid a lot for advertising. Paris, France turned up the volume on the idea of a virtual celebration. DJ Jean-Michel Jarre, really hope I said that right, hosted this virtual reality performance at the Notre Dame Cathedral. Graphic designers were able to make this digital recreation of the iconic building with the help of UNESCO. So this is about as accurate a Notre Dame experience you can get outside of actually being Quasimodo. Now here's a way to truly send off 2020 in a way that it's so richly deserved. The town of Belen, New Mexico, well there they rang in the new year with a literal dumpster fire. The town's fire department invited residents out to watch 2020 go up in flames from their cars, and dozens of people came out, even brought along their own kindling.
They're driving up to give us their old calendars, some of their paper masks, that type of thing, just to burn it off and just say goodbye to 2020 and hello to 2021.
I just put Valencia County Visitor's Guide in the fire because this year we were hoping for tourists and obviously that wasn't possible.
The Belen County Fire Department wants us to remind you that they are professionals. So it's best that you don't get any ideas about doing this in your own backyard, even if your own life perhaps is a dumpster fire. Now, despite the train wreck that was 2020, some have still decided to tempt fate as we move forward. What am I talking about? Well, with tongue firmly in cheek, I give you the people from Boston Dynamics, who will undoubtedly one day bring our robot overlords to life, pushing humanity to the brink. I kid, and yet, have you seen this? Set to the Contours tune, Do You Love Me?, which I won't play here because people always freak out about music licensing. We get Atlas, Spot, and Handle in what must be considered both a robot revolution and a dance revolution. Joking aside, that is amazing. The people who do this, they are geniuses. Now back to joking. Those robots will one day learn Kung Fu, and they will remember those scientists who used to purposely knock them down. And that's when we could be in trouble. So like John Henry, the steel-driving man, today, I take a stand against the machines. Dance-off time. What do you got, robot? What do you got? Come on. You got nothing. I'll do some of that. Come on, robot. Come on, robot. Oh, we can do a little bit of that now. Come on. That one looks like a big, weird ostrich thing. Whew. I don't know what song this is, but hey, there's a beat and I can dance to it. Actually, it's easier when there is no music because for me, not having anything to worry about in terms of rhythm is helpful. Anyway, I'm remembering something, and that is at the end of that John Henry Tall Tale, he died. And so not wanting to keel over myself, I live to fight another day. Okay, that yellow robot there that you saw before, that's the one they call Spot. And you can own a Spot. Boston Dynamics taking orders for just under $75,000. How out of breath am I, by the way? Whew, too much dancing. Anyway, I personally prefer my doggos a little less metallic, plus I don't have the 75K. But a woman in Akron would likely stick with a furrier canine too. She's now reunited with her therapy dog after a car crash separated them. She calls it a Christmas miracle, and Rob Powers has the story.
He was lost, he was found. Frank Sinatra is home. Named Frank, well, because of those big blue eyes. He went missing December 16th after a rollover crash in Akron. Frank was confused. He took off, and that left Ashley Fricke in a tough spot. She rescued Frank, and Frank returned the favor. He was trained to be a therapy dog to help with Ashley's anxiety and depression. They needed each other. But then the snowstorm, Ashley's birthday, Christmas, 11 days went by. Finally, the call from a stranger in the night.
We cried like babies and tears of joy, of course.
Somebody found Frank, called Ashley, and they were reunited at 2 a.m. Sunday.
His tail started going and he was home, and he knew it. And you could see the stress just melt off his face.
The crash, then the snowstorm. No wonder Frank was confused. He is mostly okay, has frostbite on his paws. Now he has those blue booties to match those blue eyes. He faced it all and he stood tall. It may not have been his way, but Frank found his way home.
It's a Christmas miracle for sure, and I can't express how happy I am.
Frank got those little blue booties. Those are so cute. You want another dog reuniting with its person story? Yeah? Me too. This time, a soldier and a pup he became pals with in Iraq come back together. Jessica Moran has this one.
What are you doing? Hi.
This is Sonny and Cameron Marin last March in Iraq, and this is them in Pittsfield, New Hampshire today.
He's a little tired right now.
Their journey to the Granite State is a long one. They first met while Cameron was stationed in Iraq with the New Hampshire Army National Guard.
There's rough times, there's times that weren't great, but, it's all just part of it.
There's little doubt Sonny brightened his days. Cameron says stray dogs were frequently around their work, but most of them skittish, unlike Sonny.
He just comes sprinting up to me and just immediately lets me start petting him. Like, no questions asked, didn't hesitate at all, just super friendly.
And it wasn't long before Cameron was giving Sonny treats.
Last night's pasta dinner for Doggo.
They became close enough that Cameron reached out to SPCA International. They started the process of getting Sonny back to the Granite State, but COVID-19 shutdowns made it tough. Sonny finally landed in the States in August.
Seeing that plane touch down and come down the runway was just amazing. And, you finally feel like you can exhale at that moment.
Sonny made it home before Cameron, and when they reunited, it didn't take Sonny long to recognize his old friend.
Started to sniff at me, and then it just went off, bulb just went off in his head.
So good. I've got 3 doggos myself, and I just love them. Okay, one thing they do I don't love, though, is, how to put this? They regularly, how shall we say, pick up after themselves. You know what? Let's stop beating around the bush. They eat each other's poop. Of course, after hearing this next little public service announcement, it turns out I should be a little more understanding about that habit. Oh boy.
Yes. Yes. Please don't do that. I'm a meteorologist. I should know. When icicles form, it's from water that melts off of your roof and runs down the side of a building. Well, here's the thing. You know what else is on your roof? Bird poop. A lot of it. And that water picks it up and freezes it in the ice. You're eating poop.
That's Katie Nicolau, a meteorologist in Sioux City, Iowa. She Stumbled upon a TikTok of a woman eating icicles, you saw there at the beginning, and wanted to alert her followers not to do the same. So far, her video has racked up over 9 million views on TikTok. Katie says she never expected her video to go viral. She just hopes to educate her followers along the way. See, here's the thing. I've eaten a lot of icicles, Katie, essentially poopsicles, I guess. And now suddenly, my dogs are like, why don't you step off, Bob? We should probably move on. And this next story is, in fact, all about mobility. An 8th grader in Seattle built a customized walker for a toddler in Denver more than 1,000 miles away. Michael Abieta has the story.
Getting around like the rest of his peers is something that usually isn't so simple for 3-year-old Ollie Horton. He has a physical disability that requires a walker.
He's late to crawl, he's almost 4 and he's still not walking, and so yeah, movement and mobility has always been a challenge for him.
That's why Eli Murphy, a Seattle area 8th grader, decided to help him out.
Just because it felt like the right thing to do, but I was also looking for something to do while COVID was going and just gave me some sanity kind of throughout this tough time.
He adapted this rideable electric toy car for Ollie as a school project. He altered the car's steering system and pedals and added padding and a lap belt, all while doing online schoolwork.
It was fairly easy. I just had to maneuver around some things in my everyday schedule, but once I got that down, it was pretty easy from there.
The car and the materials to adapt it cost less than $400. That's much cheaper than a motorized wheelchair, which can cost tens of thousands of dollars. And it doesn't seem like Ollie even knows the difference.
Every time he learns something new on the Jeep, you can just see him light up, and that empowerment is really, really fun for us to see.
I think it's really cool with what he's been able to do in just the past 2 days with having it.
We've got time for one more to inspire. Snow in Alaska. Doesn't sound all that special, does it? But for one family, it definitely is. Matt Leisman shows us how a snowman can melt your heart.
While he's a bit taller than the original, you might recognize this snowman as Olaf from Disney's Frozen. He stands around 9 feet tall, which is a big accomplishment for Lelaine Freeman, who'd never built a snowman before this one.
It takes me like a week, just the bottom part, because I don't know what I'm doing.
But once she figured out how to wet the snow and get it together, one day of hard work had big results.
So I stay until like 11 o'clock at night to build the 6 foot. Just for one day.
Then, a few days after that, Freeman got just what she needed to make this Olaf stand above the rest.
A few days before Christmas, we have a heavy snow, and I decided to just make it a big one.
Now it's at full height, but even bigger than that is the story behind the snowman. The idea first came from Freeman's son.
He said, "Oh, Mom, what if we build a giant snowman so my ate can see it, her can see it in heaven?"
His ate refers to his sister in Tagalog, Freeman's daughter, who passed away last May.
Because I am determined to do it, to honor her, and since she loved Frozen, I just decided to make it.
They hadn't been planning to do much decorating this Christmas until Freeman's son came up with the idea. Now it's likely to be a tradition, though next year's might look a little different.
He said he wants to do the Star Wars because we all love Star Wars at home. So we might do BB-8 or R2-D2.
And in the end, this snowman serves not only as a way to remember a loved one, but as a testament to the hard work of a loving family.
Sounds like a great new tradition to me, and I hope you'll make checking out the bright side a new tradition for you in 2021. Whether you watch on Facebook or you watch on YouTube, we're sure glad that you're here. Make sure and share this around because maybe someone you know needs to take a look on the bright side. Take care, everybody.